Hey everyone. It's really bright up here. I can't really see anybody. I didn't anticipate that. Oh, there's somebody waving over there. That's working out for me. Cool. Well, I'm ready to go. Oh, we already started, I guess. So the slide you see behind me is not actually a set of a Tim Burton movie. That's actually the Charleston Beer Exchange, which was our first business here in South Carolina. It's a craft beer specialty store that we opened in 2008, and it was kind of a novel thing at the time. Back then, there was very few outlets for craft beer, and it wasn't something that you could just go and get anywhere. We opened the shop shortly after Coast Brewing Company had launched, and I think Coast and us were kind of like two of the catalysts for starting craft beer culture in South Carolina. Sorry to toot our own horn there. That's me and my business partner at the time, Rich Carley. He and I were best friends, still are, and we weren't really good at anything except liking beer, so we had to figure out how to make a career out of that. We launched a beer festival with our friends from Coast Brewing Company called Revival. Our store was, yeah, it just happened. It was just a few days ago. If you were there and you're clapping, you didn't think it sucked, which is awesome. There's Jamie and David and me and Rich. When we started Revival, you know, we brought a bunch of crazy, crazy stuff in from all over, and it was a really successful festival. Those are all the catalysts that led up to kind of my main project nowadays, which, have any of you heard of Edmund's Oast? Have you actually been there? Cool. So Edmund's Oast is a restaurant that we call a brew pub, though that's, it's more than just a brew pub. We have a pretty diverse program, and it was something that we had always wanted to do, and we had no experience. Once again, you know, we're like not college educated or particularly trained in anything, just sort of willing to work really hard and surround ourselves with smart people. So we managed to start Edmund's Oast, which is really bizarre that we could pull that all together, but somehow it happened. It's going okay, so. But one of the things I wasn't really expecting, but has turned out to be really, really funny, is how often behind the veil of anonymity, but sometimes without it, people are very brazenly willing to sort of throw criticism your way, even when it's of a personal, unwarranted nature. So this is a photo that the city paper did for me after we were mentioned for a Bon Appetit Best New Restaurant thing, which is a great honor to be included in. And you know, it's cool. It was a tongue-in-cheek sort of silly picture. It wasn't really meant to be serious. But then someone on city paper chimed in with, but on to more important things. Yes, Scott Shor looks like a total douchebag in that picture. I don't think that was what he was going for, but it is what it is. I mean, who's not going for the douchebag look? I mean, come on. So it was kind of startling to see at first how people would react to often just general topical positive things and throw all this weird negative energy your way. And by the way, this is not everyone. I'm picking out the negative things that are like 1 out of 100, but it's funnier to talk about. I mean, no one wants to watch me talk about just like nice things people say. So this is the funny stuff. So it's okay to laugh. Go with me here. So here's another one. Same picture. I have to admit that photograph of Scott Shor is like a Rorschach test. Does he look like a classy young man on the rise or like a pretentious douche? So there's a common theme here of, like, this is the douche segment of what I'm going to talk about tonight, where different people like to call me a douche on the internet with minimal basis. And then there's one other thing. It's the hipster thing, which is a very loose term, and I don't have a set definition for what that means, but here's a cool thing. If you're into beer and hipsters, you'll love that place. Well, we missed it, but here's another one. I'm just going to read the highlight. As soon as we walked in, I knew it was the wrong place for me, though. I don't own skinny jeans or plaid shirt with snaps. I don't wear loafers without socks and a sweater around my neck. These trappings, along with zeal for obscure pale ales, seem to be key components of the clientele. So there's, I mean, we all use the word hipster. I don't even know what the hell it means. Will they provide hipster douche as well so folks can get their dignity back? What? There isn't a pressure washer on the green earth that can blast away the hipster douche at Edmund's Oast. Fuck that place. Fuck it. Which brings me to the Yelp segment of the comments I'm going to read to you tonight. By the way, I'm just a middle-aged, overweight, bald guy that lives in Mount Pleasant with his wife and son. I don't know that I meet the definition of hipster, so I still don't know what that moving target definition is. So this is really cool from Yelp. An upstate New York Yankee and a Long Island Yankee cooking up Yankee Southern food in some hipster bar named after some dude that neither one of the phony owners had heard of until they did a Google search. But this is pretty classic Charleston. Two carpetbaggers move down and think they can do it better than us simple Southern folk, and everyone believes them because they threw millions of dollars and a fancy name at it. I mean, seriously, did anyone try the cornbread before they wrote their reviews? Serve it for dessert in some restaurant in Canada. That crap couldn't be more northern if it tried. I am born and raised on Long Island. I've lived in Charleston for 12 years. I want to say our founding chef was born and raised in South Carolina, the guy that wrote the recipe for that cornbread, lifelong South Carolinian native. All right. Man, I'm trying hard to understand the reason for the hype. It can't be the limited menu nor the goofy labels on their many beer offerings. Maybe it's the mindless screaming at the table of sorority girls seated behind us. If not that, it has to be anyway, more hipster shit. You get the point. So this is a really famous comment card in our restaurant. Notice on the top it says, "Scott, you're doomed." Doomed. This was a real asshole that had one of my favorite people in the restaurant cornered at a table, basically holding her there, making her cry because he was unhappy with his experience. And I stepped in the middle and took the brunt of his wrath thereafter. But props to Kenley over there for sticking it out on that one. So this is in person, someone writing to me on a comment card in the restaurant that I'm doomed. This all starts because he thought there was too much salt in his porridge. So I'm doomed. And it's a fascinating thing to think about. But I want to end on a positive note. For every one of those, we get 100 of these. This is a real comment card, even though there's no name on it. Someone left it on a table. It was fucking delicious. And everyone that comes to the restaurant is awesome. I was just highlighting a few funny, limited, silly ones. I don't want you to think that that's like par for the course. Thanks for your time, everybody.